This is chapter 6.6, solving problems using quadratic models, and I'm doing question number 10 on page 359. So the question asks, the cost C in dollars per hour to run a machine can be modeled by C equals 0.01x squared minus 1.5x plus 93.25. where x is the number of items produced per hour. So A asks, how many items should be produced each hour to minimize the cost? So I know what minimized means is the minimum of a parabola. And we know that is the y-coordinate in the vertex. So we need to put this equation into vertex form to find out what the minimum is, and that will answer our question. So the way I'm going to be doing it is completing the square. So I'm just going to rewrite the equation. C equals 0.01x squared minus 1.5x plus 93.25. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in completing the square is take out the number before the x squared. So let's do that, factor that out of the first two terms. So C 0.01 and then x squared minus 150 x plus 93.25. Okay, the next step we need to do is take this number right here, negative 150, and we're just going to bring it over here, and we need to divide that by 2, which equals negative 75. And we need to square that, and that will give us 5,625. And now we have to put that back into the equation. And we're going to add it, plus 5,625 and minus 5,625 plus 93.25. Okay, so now what we got to do is take the negative number and put it on the other side of this bracket. So we're putting it here now. So we don't just solve this part right here. What we need to do is take this value right here that we factored out at the beginning, and we have to times it by this value before we solve anything. So now that's going to be 0.01 x squared minus 150x plus 5,625, and then 0.01 times negative 5,625 equals negative 56.25 plus 93.25. Now we're going to do something also in this step. We're going to find the square roots of these values, because if you just look at this, you'll notice that this is an equation like we've seen before that's a perfect square. So we just need to square root the x and this value over here, and then use the sign for the middle number to solve. So I'll show you right now, 0.01, and then x squared is x, and then since the middle number right here is negative, it's a minus, and then the square root of 5,625 is 75. And then negative 56.25 plus 93.25 is 37. And now, last step, we just need to simplify. Oh, sorry, that was it's kind of going out. So I'll do the rest up here. So our final equation in vertex form is C equals 0.01 x minus 75 squared plus 37. And there you go. So we know from reading the equation, C is the cost and X is the number of items produced per hour. So A is asking how many items should be produced each hour to minimize the cost. So we need to look at this area right here in the equation. So since 75 is in the same bracket as the X, it tells us that X is equal to 75. So that means, therefore, to minimize the cost, 75 items should be produced per hour, each hour. And so there you go, 75 items. And that was chapter 6.6, solving problems using quadratic models, and number 10 on page 359. Thanks.